Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. This is my show about, well, actually, I usually say they call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar.
And they one today.
Yeah, and I got two today. And they call me on the phone and they ask me questions. They say, "What's your show about?" I say, "Oh, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar playing, all things guitaristic." Oh, there's Mr. Skovinsky. He's only like 1 minute late. Wow. Okay. So you can call me up if you want and ask me a question about the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you. Related topics like the guitarron, the guitarra, the sitar, the chitole, lutes, ouds, vihuelas, banjos, balalaikas, bazookies, bajos, sextos, bajos, cincos, bandolims and banjolins and banjos, mandolas, mandolas, bandolims, bandurias.
Alpenhorns, bagpipes, and concertinas.
That's right. That's right. Trombones and trombomarinas, cornetos, cornets, crumhorns, quartholts, clavichords and clavinets, and harmoniums.
Xylophones and zithers.
That's right. Harpsichords, harmonicas, auto harps and pixie harps. I don't know. I've said trombones and trombomarinas already. I mean, anything. Musical's fine. Politics are. You want personality problems, world events, whatever. But keep it clean. This is a family program. Well, anyway, this is a Godin Montreal guitar. I haven't had it very long. It's never been on the show. Unfortunately, I'm not getting the sound I want out of it right now because I never actually put it through this amp. You see, not only do I have about 85 guitars, but I have about 20 amps. And I've matched this up with the Valve King 20-watt head and the 12-inch cabinet, which means a lot to me and about the 3 people who watch the show who are guitar freaks, who know exactly what I mean. And I get this beautiful shimmering tone through this little Vox, so it sounds really tinny. Well, lucky for me, I've got this other one, which is Diamond Imperial. I'm going to switch guitars. Hang on. Meantime, how are you doing there, Bob?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. I counted the cats before I left home, make sure the cat burglar hadn't been around.
Felines, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm having a bad week, but at least I didn't drop it. Okay, let's try this guitar instead. This is a Diamond Imperial. Looks like the same guitar, sort of, but to me there's a huge difference. Cat burglar. I've been watching, I started out watching, I I think I was watching guitars, and on YouTube, and that got me into looking at rescued dogs, and you know how that is. Some poor mangy little creature, in the shivering in the alley, was scared. They give it a cheeseburger. One thing leads to another, and they adopt it. And they have the after thing where it's a happy dog there, at the foster home, waiting to be adopted for its forever home, you see. So I watched those, and that took me over to cats. And cats took me to Maine Coon cats, which are very interesting creatures, actually. They're different from other cats, And that took me to foxes that have been domesticated, like pet foxes people have at home. And
Yeah, YouTube does that.
Yeah.
Just every time you get something over here looks like, well, I ought to see that too.
right. So I know what the problem. Let's just do this here. There we go. So after all that, I switched it off. I'm better off for that. But remind me not to get a fox
Okay.
or a Maine Coon cat or a rescued dog, anything. Okay. Okay. So this is a Diamond Imperial. I've had it on the show once or twice. Mr. Skopinski, sir. Welcome. That's a lot of guitar. Yeah. In about 3 or 4 minutes, I want to switch over to Studio B. But
You have a guest.
yeah, I do. Yeah. And you should ask me where I'm playing this weekend.
Where are you playing this weekend?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Well, I'll be at the Tuscan Moon once again, beautiful downtown Kelowna, not about 20 miles south of town. As you know, I go down Highway 218 and turn off on Highway 20. Go through the...
That's exit 80?
That's right.
Go west, young man?
That's right. I go west. I go through the mean streets of Riverside, and then I found myself the next town over in Kelowna, Tuscan Moon, right there in the middle of town. So,
Or you can go down Highway 1.
A lot of people do. I gave that up. But they've widened it, you know. Things are better than they used to be in the old days. But anyway. But, I mean, I've been going down Highway 218 since... When I was a kid, it had curbs on the sides.
Huh.
And it was narrow, and it had curbs. And if you're driving like a 65 Chevy Impala, you have to be very precise when there's a semi coming the other direction. So,
And you'll be there approximately 6 to 9 on Friday and Saturday night?
I was supposed to be there at 6, but I'll probably be late. I'll be there. But I'll be playing by 6:30, so I have to be... You know, the guy who was supposed to be here last week, he called me this morning.
Ah.
So he was almost a week late.
But you didn't come in tonight?
No, I told him I have a guest, and I just said next week. So, I'll remind him next week. So, I was thinking last week I should remind him, but anyway. Anyway, well, so anyway, I'm just gonna. This guitar is a Seymour Duncan's. It's a very thin hollow body. It's really a dream come true. This is the guitar that made me decide not to have a heritage guitar built for me for like $3,000. And when I looked for one, there were only 2 of them available in the U.S. And this was in a warehouse in Muncie, Indiana. See, to me, I think this is perfect, but other people would, I guess nobody else wanted it or something. Anyway, so I think it's about time to switch over to Bob, so I can go to Studio B.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Bob.
So perhaps, like the old Jackie Gleason show, you should call for a little traveling music. But then since you're our band, I guess we can't do that.
That's right. But I guess I'm in Studio B now, so you can switch over again if you want. It didn't take long. Yeah, going all the way down the hall, you know.
Now let's see if our director can find you.
Yeah. Should be able to. Well, Bob's quite photogenic, though. Well, anyway, but here I am with Warren Miller. So, hello, Warren.
How you doing, Tom?
Okay, same as usual.
Yeah, enjoying the music tonight again, as always.
Well, thank you. I'm doing what I can. I had a little trouble with the first guitar, but I'll get back to that later. All those issues, you know. So,
Right.
So the reason I was mentioning the Tuscan Moon is that Warren is actually one of the owners of the Tuscan Moon. The other one is Paul over there. I don't think she wants to be on camera at this moment, so I thought Warren could be the spokesman. But so what I know about you is you were a Kelownan by
I was a
birth.
Kelownan years and years ago. Then I was gone for probably 30 years, I guess, West Coast, East Coast, and came back to the Midwest thinking I'd come visit my siblings, but I came back and actually probably the best time of my life the last 12, 13 years since I met Paula.
There we go.
And yeah, she's a cool lady. Love her.
Okay.
She started Tuscan Moon as a gift studio, probably 2.5 years prior to the restaurant, and so I kind of come in on the end of things, but help to get the restaurant going.
Well, I'd say you helped a lot.
Yeah, we kind of started the thing on a whim. I mean, it wasn't really a whim, but had a small kitchen and only had an outside serving area. We didn't even have seating inside anywhere. And we were going to try it for the summer. She had done a wine bar before and had entertainment. Not as good as yours.
Oh, thanks.
But we had entertainment, and we tried that for summer, and it went very well. Then everybody was involved with having food or anything decided they didn't want to do that anymore. So we hired our own chef. She did. We talked about it, we decided to do it. And this one gentleman came in and he talked to us for a while and come back. She said, "Okay, you're hired." And I looked at her like, "Oh, okay, we're going to give it a try. We really are going to go with the thing." And that's where it started from. But yeah, we started without a dining room inside. So it's been an interesting time and a wonderful time. And a hard time.
Well, it's not easy to be a restaurateur, especially in a small town. But
It looks good. Everybody sees the busy nights when Tom's there, and when we got a big crowd, the place is full, people are having a great time. And it's good, but it's the best part is you have to enjoy it. You have to want to be in that kind of business, and you have to like being around people. And
right, you would have to like to be around people because
interesting times.
Well, I sit up there in a little stool and I play guitar for like 3 hours at a time, and I watch the people and I interact with them. They come and talk to me and stuff like that. And I notice there are little dramas going on and stuff all the time. I don't know exactly what's going on, but these things are happening. Well, prior to, I was just telling them that I started this show when I lost my job in theater in a big hurry, like suddenly in California, and I came back to be my son's father. And I've been here ever since. But what so I've played do the restaurant things. Of course, I played in bars and I played concerts. But I spent a lot of time working in theater, and I just really think that any restaurant, especially Tuscan Moon, because it's different. It's not. I've been in a lot of places, and I played in a lot of places. It's very different. It's very creative, I must say.
Right.
I mean, your set that you built for us out there is like, but it's theater, because you could go to Hy-Vee, and they have some decent food that somebody will scoop into a box for you, and you can take it home, or you can, and it, or you can boil it in the bag, or microwave it, or cook it yourself. Why would you want to go someplace, Well, you want to go someplace because there are, people there. It's a thing. You're going to have an experience.
Well, that's one thing I think we really provide there. I mean, there's three things. You have good food, good service, good atmosphere. And then we have you're playing there every Friday and Saturday for years now. And it's really a great experience. It's like fine dining, yet it's in a casual atmosphere. And you see me around there all the time. Both Paul and I, we really are concerned with customers. So you'll be playing, you maybe see us go back to a table and talk to somebody, and if there's a fire to be put out, we put it out right there rather than have somebody walk out that's very unhappy with
A metaphoric fire, actually.
Yes.
I did see a guy light his menu on fire one night, but over the candlelight.
Over the candle, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are issues, but I mean, also you kept relationships with people.
Right, and it's really been, Paul and I talk about that many times. There's been so many relationships developed through that. Even people that come in there have now got friendships with other people that come in. They've met through our wine dinners and stuff. So it's really been an amazing thing, and I think the experience, anybody that comes in there on a Friday, Saturday, any night really, but Friday, Saturday that Tom is there, I mean, the atmosphere is wonderful.
I think the atmosphere is very nice. I've been to a lot of places, and I could play. I mean, I could conceivably before. I mean, I played at Verde for about a year and a half, and then I think I was at the every Sunday in Amana for about 3 years for their Sunday brunch, and they were all their own trips, and I enjoyed those gigs in their own way. But this is a lot better. The one thing I'll say about Tuscan Moon is I always hang around afterwards at the. Like at Verde, when I played from 6 to 9.
Right.
When 9 o'clock would come along, I'd pack up, and I'd be by 6:10 I'd be or by 9:10 I'd be in my car halfway home. So I mean, I like to hang. So Tuscan Moon, I hang around for at least an hour.
There's a lot of nights you and I hang around for quite a while there.
Yeah. Well,
with the staff, I mean, that's one thing that people find unique is that at the end of the night we sit down with the staff and we all have dinner together, and we laugh and we talk, and then. I'm always Tom's. I carry the amp back to the car for him, so I have something to do at the end of the night.
Right.
And I feel like I'm part of it that way.
Well, I see that you arrived in the show business if you don't have to carry your own amp anymore. So Warren carries, of course, it's that little brown one, but still.
You can't bring the big one because I don't want to handle that one.
Yeah. I might bring that one.
It's not I got a little two-wheeler I can put it on and take it to the car.
It's not too that Vox AC. It's not too bad, but a lot smaller than the AC-15. But never mind that.
Yep.
I'm aware that there are a few guitar nerds who watch this show and see, so that I can make the mistakes and they don't have to.
They don't have to.
See, so well, that's good. And so you're enjoying your time there. I know you've been.
I am. I am. I never thought I would like living in the Midwest again, and then and it took a while to adjust to that. I met Paul, and then 2 minutes after meeting her, I asked her out for lunch one day, and then we started talking, and I mean, the whole thing's just kind of evolved to what it is today. It's probably a lot more than what we ever expected.
Yeah.
I mean, we expected to do a little bit of food business, but I love our restaurant. I would put it up against any restaurant. I mean, there's a lot of good restaurants around. Ours, the experience is a little bit different, I think. Our patio, as you know, is very unique.
Yeah, the patio. I mean, it's nice inside too. I get tired of being inside. By the time through the winter and stuff. I mean, the Christmas. Of course, Christmas is kind of a problem for me because the big trees there.
Your place,
so I have to play a smaller guitar so I can get in there. But the Christmas season's kind of. I mean, little lights and everything, and everybody's in a sort of festive mood, and then I break out all the Christmas repertoire.
Yeah.
But I tell you, by the time Christmas is over, I'm done with Christmas music.
Me too.
For 11 months for sure.
Yeah, we don't start right away.
Yeah. But yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm going to. I guess I'm a company man. I'll be there Friday, Saturday. Saturday I'll be late because I'm playing a wedding in Cedar Rapids, and it's supposed to be very short. And
well, I always tell people, they ask when Tom's going to be there, and I know both Paul and I, when somebody calls and asks, we say unless there's a wedding or a special event, which you do, you get other gigs you do that way that are good for you. So I say he'll be there every Friday and Saturday. It's been how many years, Tom? We've been 7?
I don't know. I
8
think
years,
it's
probably?
7, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least 7, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a long
trying
time.
to remember. I mean, some event in my life because it all kind of runs together. So I think of what the event was, but I was trying to remember the my like Verde. How long it was since I worked at Verde, and I don't remember. That was a nice gig. It was a Tapa Lounge. I was there 3 nights a week. As a joke, I shouldn't tell on a family program, but Donna, I don't know if you know Donna, but she's been on the show a bunch of times. She's on our board of directors, but she's a ukuleleist and a very, very sweet woman. But I told her I was playing in a tapas lounge. I said, "You're playing in a topless lounge?" And no, tapas. And so it's a tapa lounge. It's not a tapas.
Not topless, yeah.
But not tapa, but tapas. A small plate.
Yeah.
Hors d'oeuvres. Horse duvers. Hardy Hars, right? That's what you call them.
Hardy Hars.
He's from Peoria, so he knows.
Okay.
So.
I remember the first time you came in, we had I can't remember the doctor's name, was some doctor from the university was there, and we had different entertainers, probably more vocals and stuff, which really didn't suit the restaurant that well as it is today. And I remember he said, "You got to get this guy by the name of Tom Nothnagel to play here." He said he'd be perfect. And I'll never forget the first night you came in, we were outside, sat down, you started playing the guitar. I looked at Paul, shook my head, I said, "This is it." I said, "This is what we need here," and here we are today.
Yeah.
7 years later.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, I think the thing is that a guitar doesn't take up as much space.
Right.
It doesn't have to be very loud, and it can be full. And if I sing about my personal problems, people think, "Geez, I'm trying to eat here," But if I just play, classical guitar and some bossa novas and lots of popular songs from the last 100 years or so,
Yeah.
and then people seem to be happy.
They enjoy it. We have them stay for a long time.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep doing it.
Good. We love having you there.
Okay. Well, I like being there. I'm glad to be there. I'm glad to know you.
Me
We're
too.
pals.
The friendship we developed.
Yeah, we've been friends. He's my main friend and confessor. I mean,
Me too.
there's Bob, but I only see Bob once a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. You're
Yeah.
my main pal, man.
Me too.
We'll have to have some other adventures someday. But anyway.
Well, we enjoy it.
Oh well, we should go back to Studio A now, or with Bob, because I'm going to have to go and make my transition. So whenever you're ready, I'll. Oh, there we go. I faded out.
There you go.
That's good.
Okay, you're singing about your personal problems.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the difference between a puppy and a singer-songwriter.
What's the difference?
A puppy's eventually grow up and quit whining.
That's pretty good. Yeah, puppies. Yeah. I'll tell you my story. I was playing in McFoster's Natural Kind Cafe, which is a hotbed of Green Party politics in Omaha, and I. And this guy comes down the stairs from the upstairs offices where they have the Green Party stuff. But have a nice dinner.
See ya.
But so the guy comes out, he's looking kind of disapprovingly at my little rig, my flamenco guitar, my amp, and everything. And he looks at me and says, "I'm a singer-songwriter." And I smiled. I said, "Oh, really?" I smiled like I'm a nice guy. But what's going through my mind was, "I'm a singer-songwriter." I say, "Yeah. How do you get a singer-songwriter off your porch?" Pay for the pizza. Yeah. Anyway. So. Where were we? Oh, I was playing guitar. Anyway, that's my benefactor. And I have it on good authority. My interview next week will be Dave, the guitar repairman. And he says he'll be here. And I would like to open the interview portion to other people in town. I'm thinking about getting the mayor. But anybody, contact the station if you think somebody should be interviewed on Tom's Guitar Show. You can talk about whatever subject you want. I mean, it's a family show, of course, but so anyway.
Have you ever thought about when the Christmas tree is there,
Yeah.
bringing in your ukulele and playing Mele Kaliki Maka?
Even I haven't gone that far yet. Anyway, this is just a really good all-around guitar. It responds well to the Fox AC-10.
Well, either that or we have phone numbers himself. You game for that?
Yeah. we do a little interview portion? You know, while you're figuring that out, I'm gonna switch over to that other guitar because now I'm starting to think maybe I could twist the knobs on the amp a little different and get the sound I want out of the Godin Montreal. Montreal. All right. That's a romantic in me, you know. Just when I get a good sound going, I want to switch to another guitar. You know, I'm funny that way. Fickle. Hang on here. Okay, this was the problem here. Okay. Remind me to get rid of this stand. I don't trust it.
Get rid of that stand.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I'd almost forgotten. Anyway. Okay. This here is a is my Godin Montreal. I'm gonna try this one again. I'm gonna fuss around with it a little bit. Something is funny about trying to plug it into this thing right here. Not this one. This one over here. Huh? Is it? Ah, that's it. This. All right. Hold on to your teeth. Sorry, that's a. That's better. Anyway, so speaking of interviewing people, we've got a new volunteer. Yeah. So, what's your name again? I forgot.
My name is Philip Daniel.
Philip. Okay, pleasure. So you are a trainee here, are you?
Trainee, yes, from Iowa City.
You're from Iowa City? Grew up here?
Not really, no.
Oh.
I grew up, born and raised in Gary, Indiana.
Okay, sure, yeah. I know where that is. Oh yeah. So, but you like it here?
Yes, I like it here.
That's good. Okay. So, what draws you to TV land here?
Well, I used to do it in school and my career and stuff. And growing up, I always liked TV and radio. And I've been in radio for, I'd say, a good 10 to 15 years of my life. So, decided to come back and see what I can do this time for TV and radio.
Okay, that's good. That's so you doing radio also at this time, or?
Not at this time, no.
We have had people who did radio shows here over the cable. You know, they like had a music show, and they just they have their regular show, but they just have a screens, they go and then they have their DJ stuff.
Worth looking into. It's worth a shot.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, you having a good show also.
Oh,
I've
thanks.
seen you before I started being part of PATV, but I've seen you on some Monday nights. It's been great shows. Real good shows.
Gee, thanks. Some of us are getting kind of used to him. I don't know about Bob. Looks kind of nonplussed, but anyway, yeah, we. But well, I've been doing it for a long time. One thing I want to do though is to make my show be a thing where people can come and to practice working on their video production skills. So you come and work on the show, and my joke is you can make all your mistakes on my show, so you don't have to make them on your show.
Well,
So,
that works.
yeah. So you planning to make do you have a show in mind you want to do, or your own or creation?
There's a few things I have in mind, but first I need to see if it's going to be approved with a lot of red tape and FCC and all the other
Okay.
stuff, just to make sure it's going to be a real good show without nobody getting sued, I would say. So
Yeah.
I plan to do a lot of things.
Well, you're pretty safe, I think, here up to up to a certain point, because we're public access. So there's a lot of leeway, but of course you're responsible for your own
Right.
program. Thing is, they'll come and take you away, not the rest of us. So.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I'll run and hide for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe we all will, but I think they. I mean, I haven't had any trouble. I had some stuff taken down from YouTube because they claimed that somebody owned the copyright on it. It was actually Malagueña, which is it's a Spanish folk song. I got it out of a book that was written down by a guy who died in 1909 in Spain, and it was an old song when he wrote it down, and he wrote it down before he died in 1909, so it's probably 18 something, and it was already an old song. So somebody claimed to have the copyright to it.
Wow.
And it's a very well known
Yeah.
Spanish song, everybody's.
Yeah, but you never know who might have wrote something and put it in a vault. Then as soon as they see it on TV or hear it on radio, oh, I remember that.
Right. Well, they try to monetize it somehow, make the big money, and I don't know,
Exactly.
kind of a scofflaw. But okay. So, but you've made TV shows before, I mean, like in school and everything when you were a kid and everything.
Yeah, a
but,
little produce some commercial type things, Back when I was growing up in high school, whatever commercials we saw, we tried to imitate them and,
Sure, yeah.
Try to put our own little twist on it or maybe even our own ideas. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No,
Radio and TV is a lot of fun. I like it. Depends on how you treat it, it treats you back. So.
Yeah. Well, I've done a lot of other things. In the old days, I just do this every week now, but I used to do all kinds of experimental things just to have fun with TV. And actually, I knew a guy. He was my roommate for a while, many, many, many years ago. But he did one which was actually dressed up as a woman, and his little sister was supposed to be the kid, and they were doing a commercial for Grasshopper Helper. So it was a hamburger helper commercial, but it was a spoof on it. So it was Grasshopper Helper to make grasshoppers taste good, and the little girl didn't want to eat them or something like that. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the guy's 60 years old now. We're all anyway. Yeah, so I guess it was fun 40 years ago. But I don't know if you've ever seen a hamburger helper commercial. But
Oh, it's called Bizarre Foods now. I've probably seen it a couple of times.
oh, okay, all right. Well, they say a pound of crickets takes a lot less, a lot of protein. It takes a lot less, resources to raise in a pound of beef.
Yeah.
In case if you want to eat crickets,
Yeah. That'll be on the next Fear Factor.
I'll probably miss that one.
Yeah, I'll be watching the game for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I tell you, you want to practice your skills, you come back every week and volunteer if you want, and
Okay.
you can.
Maybe one day I can join you because I'm also drumming percussion. So maybe
Okay.
we can
Yeah, we can
probably bring some bongos in, little chimes or something.
There's a guy. He's a friend of mine, but he's a producer down here. He actually does a church show, but Ray but he's like a soul singer basically. And I've been trying to get something together with him for a long time. We just never get around to it. Put something together. So I wanted to put together a PATV band, but I guess Mr. T here is a bit of a singer, I heard, but.
Who told you that?
People who went to the Bob Fest.
Oh, so Donna. Okay.
Yeah, it was Donna. Yeah. We got a small group here. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I know Erin plays ukulele. I've never heard her play though.
She did on your show the one time.
Did she play? Oh, when I wasn't here, or
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was like for when you weren't here.
it was the show that you had when I wasn't here. Yeah.
Like, well, there you go.
All right. Fine. Okay. We're talking about stuff nobody cares about, but anyway, it's good.
Is that show on YouTube?
What's that?
Is that show on YouTube?
I don't think so.
I thought it was not on my channel though, on the PATV channel somewhere.
Maybe. I don't remember. Try to find it. Let's play guitar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good to meet you. Hang around. Come back.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll make you a director. This actually sounds pretty good. I had to twiddle the knobs on the amp more or less. Well, one of the features of this guitar is that, you see here I got my switch. I got this little like switch. Which is the pickups, the usual pickups one has on an electric guitar. And although this is a 5-position switch with only 2 pickups. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. This all the way over here is the neck pickup. Just turn this off again. Okay, the neck pickup, so this is, right? And over here, if I switch over here, that's the same pickup, the next switch over, this one, but it's split now. So it's no longer a double coil, it's a single coil. So one of the coils has been sort of switched off. Right? In the middle, I get both pickups in humbucker mode. Right? And then this one, I get this pickup in single coil mode. And then this one, I get this pickup in let's see, this one, this is in double coil mode. Sounds very different to me then. Anyway, so all that's kind of fun to play with and everything. All this kind of fun and more. But the other thing is, if I turn this volume off, I turn this volume on. It's on the whole time. This here is the neck has, or the bridge has a piezo pickup on it, so it's like the kind of pickup you put in an acoustic guitar, a steel string guitar. These are, of course, are magnetic pickups. You don't believe me? Hang on a second. See if I can get my pitchfork out of here. That's an Iowa joke. See, it's a tuning fork, but I call it pitchfork because you get a pitch off of it. See, and a pitchfork is an agricultural implement. Yeah, you got the joke right. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Okay. So if so this, see the magnetic pickup. If I just put this over the pickup, I'm not touching the guitar. It's the steel, the chrome-plated steel tuning fork, vibrating over the magnetic field. Okay, so that's what this pickup does. But if I turn that off and turn this one on, this pickup is this one here. So it's like, so it sounds like an acoustic guitar, pretty much. If I put some other kind of strings on it, some that are kind of designed to go on acoustic and electric guitars, as in they have bronze and steel in the ferrous metal in the windings. That still sounds pretty much like a folk guitar. Right? But if I mix the two, I get the crispness of the folk guitar and the bite of the electric guitar. So I figure, you know what they said back in the old days, if it feels good, do it. Now, Duke Ellington said, if it sounds good, it is good. And he would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, being Duke Ellington. Anyway.
Duke Ellington set the world record for most songs credited to have been written.
I don't know, I haven't heard that. Can't heard that at home.
Literally thousands or something.
Yeah, Mr. T here is saying that, wondering if, yeah, you can ask, tell us.
Okay. Well, I saw the Ken Burns jazz documentary however long ago, and I think they mentioned somewhere, and I think Duke Ellington had the record for most songs written or having been credited for. And it was like in the thousands. But not only that, like they could name any of the songs that he had written in the past of the many that he had, and he could just, he's like, oh yeah, that one, and he would just go ahead and he could play it on the piano just from memory like that. Like he didn't forget any of the ones that he had made or something like that. So
Yeah, well.
so you got a ways to go. You know?
Well, I would say that it's a sobering thought that it's quite likely that Duke Ellington is a better musician, or was, than I am.
No.
I have an advantage over him.
Yes.
I'm still alive,
There you go. True.
but
He kind of stopped after a few,
after dying.
after a certain point, he just kind of hit a wall, with the songwriting aspect.
Yeah, I see. But he did have a long life, and I forget how long he lived, but he had a long life, and he worked.
I didn't even think about this. Someone could have said, hey, play that one called the Chocolate Pudding Rag, and he could have just sat down or played something. No one's going to know if that was actually what it was originally written as.
Oh, I
He
see.
could just play something,
Yeah.
And then people be like, ah, yes, a musical genius. and he would just
Yeah.
been improvising the whole time.
I see.
Who knows?
Well, there are the music. There's I listen to the classical radio station. There's some conductors who knew all these symphonies by heart, and who had a whole like cycle of symphonies in their heads. Conductors, so they didn't have to look at the music.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, if you don't know anything about music, you'd think, well, the conductor, all I do is sort of shake a stick to keep time. And say, no, man, you coax different things out. Okay, now you control the, you know, the orchestra.
The one thing that's always confused me with the conductor is that they will literally do that, and then no one will do anything for another 2 seconds until they start like going back to being regular.
Yeah.
Again, you know, like I would think that when they go like, that means go time. But no, like the symphony people know, they're like, he's tricking us.
But not
Or
tricking
something
them,
like
he's-
that.
you know,
I know there's like a certain beat thing. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those things. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, no, but I was saying that the conductor, you know, some would say it was just, you know, somebody's just up there shaking a stick, you know. Some people, they got to play those instruments, you know. I said, well, the conductor probably knows how to play a bunch of instruments really well, but the conductor is conducting everybody. So it's like saying, well, the guy, you know, the Clydesdale beer wagon or whatever.
Yeah.
The guy, well, the horses have to pull the wagon, and what's the guy? He just sits there, right? You know, he's controlling these enormous horses.
Well, it's sort of like the director of a movie.
Yeah.
You know, does he just sit in a chair while everyone else does the acting and the camera work, or you know, he's kind of like just running the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, from behind, much like our Mr. Skopinski is doing right now
Yes, he's
in the studio.
he is our director, I guess you'd call it, wouldn't you? Call
I
it?
know.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, that's all I had to say. So I'm gonna step out.
Well, that's probably enough. Okay, where were we anyway? Oh yeah, we gotta get the new guy on camera if he wants to go. But
No, we've talked to him. I guess he's in awe of my professional sidekickism. He doesn't want to come on camera.
oh, he doesn't have to. Of course, you have all these little things up here, these little slidey things for the tone. I can fool around with my tone while I'm, yeah.
The senior center ran afoul of one of those copyright claims here a week or two ago.
Oh, really?
We put up a video that one of the groups was doing New York, New York. And YouTube muted the music because somebody made a copyright claim on it.
Oh.
And I looked, and there are at least a half a dozen videos on YouTube of different groups doing New York, New York. So I don't know what makes the senior centers a copyright infringement, but not theirs.
Somebody went after you, man.
Yeah.
You must have enemies out there. Maybe it's
We're going to get that senior center.
That's right. Yeah. Imagine you get up in the morning and decide, I'm going to get the senior center. So you never know what people are into there. All kinds of crazy stuff. But, I mean, I was going to, I just got disgusted when I had this is years ago now. I had all my Malagueño videos pulled down. I played it on the ukulele and the guitar and stuff like that. People requested it. And back when people used to call back in the old days, And so I had like 3 videos with it on it and different versions of it. And I know it's a folk song. See, and besides, who cares? But somebody who claimed to have the publishing on it. It'd be like if I did Yankee Doodle, So, oh, we got the copyright on Yankee Doodle. Sure you do.
Yeah, we know that's at least 200 years old.
Right. So, I mean.
Yeah, they didn't pull our video, they just muted the song.
Right. Oh, well. I play little snippets of popular songs all the time. Hence the...
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah. But...
Roy probably won't say anything.
He has the same Duke Ellington problem as me.
That's right, Roy isn't with us anymore.
I think Vaughn Monroe had the first big hit on that, but I have Gene Autry's version of it.
New Riders of the Purple Sage or whatever, or I forget.
Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Yeah, but I mean, no, the group, it was a vocal group. Riders of the Purple Sage. I mean, I can't remember which one it was. I used to know. Jeez.
So old age will do to you.
Yeah. PATV, I've given you the best years of my life. There's a Joni Mitchell song, and there's a verse in it that says, I gave you all my pretty years. So,
There's a Mac Davis song, Rock and Roll, I gave you all the best years of my life.
Yeah, well, I never was much of a rocker, but although I make jokes about that, I had the when my kid was little, I had the rocking chair. I used to have to hold the kid, and the rocking chair with him and stuff, and I'd make these jokes he didn't understand yet about, I was a rocking, but always was a rocker, things like that. But Christmas time, we'd wrap the presents. Rap music?
Yeah.
Never mind. Hang on, I'm going to go back to this other one now. There's not much time left, and I'm goofing off a lot, but I think we know what this one sounds like and the many things it'll do.
I've often heard that's an oxymoron.
What?
Rap music.
Yeah. Some people
Stop it.
some people really like that stuff. It's okay. I mean, if they,
I didn't say people didn't enjoy it.
Well,
I'm just not convinced that it's music.
I used to argue it was a literary form, and not necessarily music, but as a poet said, but I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now.
That was Dylan.
I know. I quote
When
the
Tom
poet.
says the poet, that's who he's talking about.
The poet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd also argue Bob Dylan probably. I mean, I love Bob Dylan, but I also would argue that he probably shouldn't have won the Nobel Prize for Literature, if we're going with rap isn't really music type stuff. So that's my beef.
I'm not really a critic now. I just play him, So
I think he's a terrific songwriter. I don't think he's a terrific writer. So that's my deal with him.
Well, I did that an evening of Bob Dylan at the West Liberty Public Library. A well-researched presentation, I might add. For an hour and a quarter, I stood up there and I sang Dylan songs and told stories about his life, because I'm a bit of a Dylanologist, although that's not my main day job, but And I'd say that when he did something, actually really brought words in I mean, if you think about pop songs, the kind of lyrics usually are and have been, he kind of brought a new kind of literature forth, I think, in a way that other people hadn't.
True. Sam Cooke said that like the reason he wrote "A Change Is Gonna Come" is after he heard Dylan, he told he tried to share it with a friend. He's like, "Hey, listen to it was Blowing in the Wind." I think he's like, "You need to listen to this," and the guy said, "Well, this guy can't sing at all. Why are you making me listen to this?" He says, "Well, the point is that after this song, it's not how you sing, but what you're singing about." So that's why Sam Cooke wrote "A Change Is Gonna Come" supposedly, because he got it. His friend didn't. So his friend was in the past.
Yeah,
exactly.
I guess.
Yeah. So
and now Sam's been dead a long time.
Sam has that Duke Ellington and Roy Orbison problem going on with him.
Unfortunately, he was murdered early in his career. So
yeah, it was. That's true.
which is
Okay.
something that we should try to avoid. Although I don't have to worry about that because
All right. I'll take that advice to heart. Try to avoid it.
yeah, try to avoid getting murdered early in your career.
Go ahead, Bob.
But it's too late for me to get murdered early in my career.
When I think of rappers, I always think about Rex Harrison and My Fair Lady.
Haven't seen it, so.
He couldn't sing, so they let him rap all his songs.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Well, reciting poetry with a beat behind it is hardly a new thing. I mean, it's been going on for thousands of years. And, that's the way the minstrels used to do it in the old days and tell the news in Europe and so forth. Like there's a long African tradition of that sort of thing. So it's like a normal human behavior, I think. It's just that now they have sampling and stuff. They can do things differently.
That's how it started.
Yeah, just spinning a...
If we had more than 5 minutes on the show, I'd talk more about it, but...
You could have a show. Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it more next time.
Maybe. We'll see. I have Dave on. Dave's not here. Did you know that? You don't know. It's a Cheech and Chong record, I think. It's a cultural reference from a bygone era. It's possible you're too young and Bob might be too old. And I'm just about right for that one. So, Dave's not here.
Because when I say the poet, I always think of Roger Miller.
There you go.
Roses are red and violets are purple, sugar's sweet and so's maple syrup.
There you go. As Popeye the Sailor Man, when he was reading love poetry to Olive Oyl, roses are red, violets are blue. Next to spinach, I loves you. So
I am what I am, and that's what
all
I
that.
am.
He's a philosopher, man. There's that famous movie he made, I eats my spinach. I eats me spinach, and so it's a simple declarative sentence what he's really about. Like most of us don't have much clarity, but I got the nickname Guitar Tom at a very early age when I was in California, and I would be practicing my guitar, and I'd fall asleep on my bed with my guitar. I'd be sleeping with my guitar, not cuddled up like a teddy bear, but so my Kate, that's her name. I don't know whatever happened to her a long time ago, but she called me Guitar Tom, and because I was often seen with the guitar. Anyway, this is,
It fits Tom's Guitar Show.
I suppose, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah,
Why not?
I love this tone. I've dawdled away most of the show.
Thank you.